Someone has been in my room and taken beers away from my room. This video is going to show you a solo farm of Reclaim. Now, there are 3 different versions of Reclaim, and Cabal's Watch, to me at least, seems to be the fastest one to solo farm. This video can also be applied to fire teams and duo runs, and you will still get the scores according to the card that you set up. Make sure that your card set up, which I'll explain in depth again for the 10 millionth time, but I'll explain it again. Alright, so Cabal's Watch is the fastest because it's Cabal enemies and the objectives seem faster than the Vex objectives, in my opinion. Right? So, avoid the match-made difficulty like the Plague. It's minus 40 Delta and it's so unnecessary. You don't need to play this. You really don't need to be minus 40 Delta to farm this. I've solo farmed this in 11 minutes for free completion rewards at A rank. It was even A rank as well, because I set the card up for that. So avoid matchmaking. Either solo this at power, or make a card and get an LFG team in, or do it with your clan mates. So let's get the card set up. Remember, everybody's card's unique, but there's a global rule that you should follow in order for you to get the score. Let's set the card up. Right, when using challenge mods, don't use the harsh ones, use easy ones. Cabal Pestilence, there's not many Scions, so I'll pop that on. Pressure Cooker, equipment locked is on, no starting ammo gets popped on, and Extinction Revives for 1.459 mil. I ran no boons. In actual fact, you don't want to run a boon because my score is bob on. It's the sweet spot. In other words, I don't have anything unnecessary on the card. Everything is configured to get the exact score that I need, which is just scrape an A grade. The sweet spot for A grade farming is just above A grade. You don't need to do A+. Only A+ is for 450 players who want to farm tier 5 at 450, but you shouldn't be doing that anyways. You should start to farm tier 5 gear at 500 power because that is way better. I'll explain why that is way better. Now, Renegades is going to abolish power leveling. I'll repeat it again. Renegades is basically going to abolish power leveling as far as we know it. Get to 550 now. Get it over with. Well, the leveling system's getting changed next week. Let's get it over with so that you're leveled up and that you can have fun in the game. Right, the rule. The rule is this. Get your reward score. The one that you like. Now, whatever your power level is different. These metrics change depending on your power level. If you're 270, 280, 290, 340, 370, 410, whatever your level is, your metrics are different to mine. You just need to apply the 15% rule to get the A grade score. So what is 15% of 1.459 mil? Let's grab a D2 scientist. Let's get a D2 rocket scientist. In actual fact, if you're struggling to get a D2 rocket scientist, because they are rare in 2025, go and grab yourself a calculator out the drawer, calculate your reward scores, and add 15% on top, and if it exceeds A grade score, you have won the jackpot. You have now understood the portal to its fullest. Get that calculator out the drawer. Hey, use your Android phone. Android phones in 2025 have calculators on them. Couldn't you believe it, dude? When we was young, we would never have thought that when we was 8 and 9, right? With a calculator. You'd never think that would get on an Android phone. We didn't know what an Android phone was. Use technology in 2025, lads. You don't need a D2 rocket scientist. You just need the 15% rule. Now, being more serious on this, the reason why my farming is better than your farming is because Ultimate Mode has better mods. So on GM level, time bonus is worse than Pressure Cooker. Extinction Revives gives so much reward score multiplier that it's overwhelmingly better than Limited Revive, but if you're on GM mode, you don't have access to it. So your cards are way worse. In other words, the game gets easier on Ultimate Mode. It gets easier on Ultimate Mode. I've messed my card up now because I've changed it. I don't know why it does that. Why doesn't it just keep the card? Why does it keep changing? I don't even know what it's doing now. No starting ammo or extinction revives, see? Because those mods get deselected when you swap a different difficulty. So what I'm saying to you is, it's your incentive and best interest now to get to 500 power. That should be your goal for everybody. Get to 500 power. Tier 5 farming is better. The game is much better at ultimate difficulty. The GM mode is harder than ultimate mode for everything. Farming tier 5 gear and everything. Get the advice now today and start leveling. 500 power is definitely not hard to do. I've even tracked down the hours it took me to get to 500 power. From 450 power to 500 power, it took me roughly 11 hours. Not in one day. That was over the course of multiple days. 3 days, I think. I spent 11 hours on 11 hours on leveling. Within 3 days, I got to 500 power. This was a month back. So I know that it doesn't take that long to get to 500 power. The grind, or the true grind, is from 500 to 550. That's where the grind is, not 500. No excuses. Get to 500 power. It's in your damn best interest. That's the card set up. Right. Stasis Behemoth Titan users. If you're not using this hand cannon, you're probably throwing. This hand cannon is incredibly powerful and potent. On this build, it's unreal. It's unreal strong. It's damn shotgun hand cannon, and it works perfectly with the build. Grave Robber, Trench Barrel, unreal roll. I could have run Prox Power, but yeah, Trench, this roll, I love this roll. I think this is one of my favourite rolls on this. Trials hand cannon, you can get it from Trials today. You'll be able to get it, so look out for this hand cannon. Right, because it's unbelievable. Now then, if you don't want to do that and you want to rock mint, here's what you do. Rock the energy spread shot hand cannon instead. The reason why I didn't is simply because I don't want to spend the cores, lads. It's 22k. Do you think I'm going to spend 22k cores just to have the liberty of using mint retrograde? I'm not bothered. I can leave it or take it. If you make me decide, should I use mint or should I use 22k unstable cost? No way. I say, let's take mint off. Screw it. I'll rock a different hand cannon, being this one, and I'll just put up with using the GL. GL's fine anyways. GL's great. Like the GL. So we'll just do that. So, yeah, this hand cannon, I don't know the name of it. Aurorus Neutralizer. I mean, they may as well start calling weapons after singers nowadays. I mean, back in 2014, it was Shadow Price. It was Fatebringer, right? It was Word of Crota. It was, other D1 names, right? Whereas now you've got all these names like, what's this gun? You may as well call this weapon Alanis Morissette. I don't know, name an auto rifle called Lady Gaga. A sniper rifle called Taylor Swift. You may as well, because the names have gotten out of hand, lads. What's this one? Theo Delight? I don't know how to pronounce this one. I can't pronounce any weapon names anymore. Shoreline Dissident. Why? Why is it not just Shoreline Distant? Why Dissident? What's going on with the names, lads? Can't put up with it anymore. Scientia. Who said that? I've never heard of that word until now, just then. I don't understand it. But, like I said, this hand cannon is incredibly powerful. I'm using the GL and I'm using Wolfsbane. Whilst it's not the best DPS in the world, it's got some uses. I've got it with Attrition Orbs as well, because we can really build craft with that, with the Catalyst. So I'm using Symboseps because that increases the damage of the Glacial Quake build. I'm running 2 double super fonts, a melee font, Elemental Charge for the Stasis Shard pickup. That allows me to use a solar weapon Surge, and it allows me to get the super fonts. So I'm actually rocking a 200 super stat, not 160. So you don't need 200 super stat, you just need to 160 and then 2 super fonts, or 180 and 1 super font. No matter how you cut the cake, it's probably the same slices. But I'm just explaining to you, it doesn't have to be 200 super stat. Because then I've saw some Glacial Quake Titans with 60 weapon stat. I've seen them in the tower, and I'm like, what are you doing? 60 weapon stat? No way, dude. If you rock a lower super stat, you can get more points than the weapon stat. Right? It's like when you're cutting carries. Even if you're cutting carries, even if you're fast, if you eat a massive cake at night, you've still exceeded your calorie surplus. So you're still going to gain weight, whether you've fasted or not. It's how you cut the cake. Cut the cake smaller so that we've got more weapon stat. So melee, super, weapons. That is it. The Paragon armor will solve that for you. Right? There you go. Artifact that matters. I had Shield Crush on, Iron Lord's Vigor. I've got some Stasis Frost Armor stuff. Discount on Scavs. There's no champs in this. And there's nothing else. I've got Overload Sword on, etc. So the actual fragments and aspects. So we've got Glacier Grenade. Aspects are Howler's Storm, Tectonic Harvest. Fragments are Whisper of Shards, Hunger, Conduction, and Fissures. There'll be a dim link for all of this on with the run. Okay, so here is that 11-minute solo reclaim farm. So as you start, it's Cabal's Watch, which is predetermined areas. It'll be the same area each time on this one. So it's Archon's Keep, the area, and you will look for the objective markers. When you pull out your ghost, it's the objective markers that remain constant on your screen that you're looking for. There will be other objective markers like VIP targets and such. Ignore all of that if you can. You want to do just the main objectives. Now then, on this little mini game, it's like little mini games, right? And you've got to do 2 mini games per area, and there's 3 areas, right? So with this little mini game I've got to take down this Cabal's shield, which we can do rather easily. Yeah. So we're just going to take care of the ads. The hand cannon will one-shot everything. It 2 shots. Sorry, even 1-shots yellow bars, this hand cannon. In combination with Howl of the Storm and such, it does incredible damage. You'll see the damage it does on VIPs. I know we're at power, but this is a farm. You don't farm this at minus 40 delta, lads. That's just not how it goes. Yeah? This is a farming video. Do we understand the difference between farming and minus 40 delta content? Which I do both, but I separate it because they're technically 2 different separate categories. Why would you farm at minus 40 delta when you can farm at base power, right? As in this week. It's important that you know that because they're changing it next week. Although the leveling process will be a double-edged sword, part of it will be good, part of it will be bad. But overall, the leveling process will be better. It's just that each activity that you do will be 2 or 3, 4, 5 minutes longer depending on exactly what you do. So we get rid of that VIP target. Insane damage with Howl the Storm plus this hand cannon. The neutralizer shotgun hand cannon weapon, right? Incredible. It's incredible. It's a very good pairing because it keeps reloading because of Grave Robber. And I keep getting the trench barrel buff, which is technically like a mini shotgun. So it's kind of like you've got a shotgun on, but you haven't, and you don't have to use double special. It's very nice. Yeah, it's very, very nice. I was shocked how good this was, because originally I wasn't going to use this hand cannon. I was wanting to use something else. I was wanting to use Remembrance, which I do love that hand cannon, but I was humbled today. I was like, oh, this hand cannon's way better than Remembrance. Remembrance is a good hand cannon, it is, but on this particular build, this hand cannon just makes sense. It 1 taps, 2 taps, orange bars and yellow bars, right? With the glacier crystals. So you just cleared all the ads there. That's all that objective was for that one. Your objectives will be slightly different depending on what you get. But all of them are very similar. Kill targets, take a shield down, maybe pop nodes into a battery thing. That happens later on sometimes. Or capture a point later on. But check, 981. We didn't have 1,000 points. To note, 2 mini-games is not enough for the 1,000 points. You need to do a little bit more, and that would be just claim a few chests along the way. If you see a chest along your way, and you haven't picked a chest up, grab it. Because that will help you towards your objective a little bit quicker. Picking a chest up. I'm not talking about 8 chests, I'm talking about 1 or 2. 2 chests will do it. Just about. So bring out your ghost. What have I got? My RNG is top and bottom right hand side of the map, which actually isn't too bad in this case, because I know from experience that I need to kill this VIP and I need to kill 2 Cabal ships, freshers. So I'm going to use a super here. This Data Warden's very tanky, may I add. But we're using Howler Storm here. So I'm just going to use Howler Storm super. You spam it. So you just keep sliding melee, sliding melee. Then what we're going to do is reposition a little bit and use the GL. Now, Mint would be good for this bit, of course. Mint wrecks freshers. But the GL does half a decent job as well at just getting rid of them. Now, look at the position and the movement. Yeah? We're staying alive relatively easy because it's good movement. It's known the pattern of a fresher. Can you fight a fresher without him barely scratching you? You can by just strafing left and right. Or using a piece of cover like this. So we're just going to use all the GL. I use all my GL ammo. But that's worth it. That's a good one, that. Because that objective is quicker than the other ones. So that's good RNG in my favour. So this farm is up for interpretation on what encounter you get. It's going to average you between 11 minutes to 13 minutes. If you get bad encounters, the time will be 2 minutes longer. There's nothing I can do about that for you. I wish that it was somehow fixed. I would rather that the objectives were fixed. But that would probably take mechanics away from the reclaim, which we don't want that either. But it is annoying when you're trying to standardise a farm to then make a video about it, for then somebody to say, well, I didn't get the same encounters as you, therefore I can't do it. Well, you can. You're just being a bit of a drama queen. You definitely can. You just got worse RNG than me. Yeah, it's RNG. That's just what it is. Now, the top encounter is always the same objective, this one. I've never seen anything else. So it's kill the... Look at that. Look at the melts. Where they're instantly dying with the hand cannon plus stasis crystals. Howl the Storm. One shot with the hand cannon. Boom. Yellow bars. Gone. To the digital space. The matrix. They're sent to the stasis matrix there, look. Immediate. That's so strong. Unreal. Powerful. Claim your chest. Now on that one, I've done enough to get the points. Each mini objective is slightly more points than others as well. But like I say, do claim 1 or 2 chests per zone to guarantee after the second encounter is done that you have 1,000 points. Because if you don't, you're scrambling for points and you're hurting your farm. Because then you're like, oh, I haven't got enough points. And ad cleared is not the way. You only get 1 point for each red bar. Right, we get ad wave here. Which is another bit of a good look here. So look at this. Trench barrel plus Howl the Storm. Doing crazy damage. Then we whip out the super. And your only goal is the VIP. If you get this one, good luck. Because that is technically the quickest objective you can get on this one. You might get capture plate. You might not. Anyways, we're already on 600 points. We're doing well. Now I don't think I need to claim anything, and I will get 1,000 points. Because you don't get 500 points for each minigame. It's around 400 or 450. Somewhere around there, depending on the objective. So I'm good. As long as I complete this objective now, I've got the 1,000 points. So on this one, I've got to look at this damage. Look at the crazy damage. He's an ultra. That's an ultra. I know it's at power. I know you're saying it's at power. Doesn't matter. I think he would still get melted at minus 30. He would. I know that he would. Don't disagree with it. But look at that. It's really nice, this build. I think going forward, any more Glacial Quake videos I do, this hand cannon is going to be a thing that I consider for everything I do. If it's a activity that's very long range, the hand cannon's no good. So it's a bit niche, but when an activity is very close quarters and you need to take a lot of VIP targets and you are on Stasis Titan, which I recommend you play on Stasis Titan before Bungie does any adjustments. I hope they don't. I hope they leave it. I hope they leave it like this for, I don't know, 3-4 weeks. I don't know, maybe till Renegades. Leave it like this till Renegades. They may as well. It's in their favour to do that. But yeah, you should go on Stasis Titan and have fun with it. Because it's like Consecration Slam, but on Stasis. So look at this damage we're doing here. So we go right in straight away with some Howler Storms. Now I'm going to whip out the axe. I haven't used much of the axe. Because you lose nano assault per area. Right. So it's not that good, but it's good for the end. Because you can heal. And the healing is nice. From Wolfsbane. I know it's not the greatest DPS in the world. And it does need a buff, this axe. It actually does need a damage buff. I would say if they buff it by 10-20%, we can start talking about this axe being meta. But right now it's not meta. But it's very nice in certain situations. And it's at least better than Lament. I will tell you that pretty much. Now then, we send the boss right away. And now we're capping the scam points. You need to get 6 scions. If you don't get 2 scions because they do despawn, you need to recap the play. But it's not the end of the world. So I got 2. You need to get 6 scions total. I counted it out today. I didn't know how many scions you had to do before today. Look at this. You can use your melee a lot as well. Because they reduced the ability usage of the melee. If you use it for traversal, you can spam the Shiver Strike. Right, so if you ever threatened slightly by a boss, use Shiver Strike and fly off. But yeah, I've got the 4 scions so far. I need 2 more. I don't end up getting the 6th. So watch this. Nice Shiver Strike there. Do you see that? That was nice, that one. And the boss couldn't hit me. But I can't get the 3rd one. The 6th one. If I had Eager Edge on, then that would have made a difference. I think for the catalyst for Wolves Bane, they should have given it Eager Edge. I think they should have. They've messed up with that. Some of the catalyst options on Wolves Bane are very nice. And some of them are like, there could have been better things. I think it would have given speedrunners something. I know that they would rather run Eager Edge Slammer or Eager Edge Scientia. I understand that. But I think the axe would have been nice with Eager Edge. I do. Now, my super whiffs. You can sometimes whiff with the super, right? Because the boss was backing up. He was backing up and backing up. So I use the axe. I've got Nano Assault to proc. I'm going to proc it now. There we go. There's all sorts of tricks you can do with the axe, which this video is not featuring too much of that. I'm just explaining to you that you can kill this boss and survive, right, on this farm. That's the solo farm for Reclaim. Remember, it's 11 minutes to run on that. I got good RNG. If you get bad RNG, it's probably 30 minutes. You get 3 completion rewards. And this can be done in a duo or fire team farm. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.